Welcome to the last part of the Founders Agreement. In this lesson, we'll delve into the crucial topic of commitment. Aligning on each co-founder's commitment is absolutely vital to ensure that all co-founders are aligned and dedicated to the startup's journey. Before we dive in, it's important to also understand that Talent Cake, we focus mainly on the student and research community, and therefore some of the advice will be specifically targeted towards that alignment in that context. However, aligning on timelines and commitments of each co-founder is always relevant, regardless of which other commitment might restrict the time and energy you can put into the journey. This can also apply to, let's say, a family commitment or jobs, restriction on financial freedom or resources, or also intensive hobbies and any other potential distractions and limitations. So first of all, we want to touch on the topic of having other backup options open. Imagine you are a student and you somehow want to explore entrepreneurship, but you also keep your nice and comfy Google offer in the back of your head and in your drawer. It's absolutely crucial to understand the commitment of your co-founders well and assess if all co-founders commit to the startup journey fully or really have several backup options at hand. If so, it's essential to discuss and understand the timeline for making a decision regarding these job offers versus also committing to the startup. Discuss with your co-founders. Do they have any existing job offers as a backup to the startup? If yes, until when do they need or want to make a final decision for or against the job offer or for or against the startup? How much time is everyone willing to invest into the startup? What results do they want to see at which time to really feel comfortable moving forward with a startup? And is there any point in time where they have to, for financial reasons, for visa reasons, or otherwise, take another job? Evaluating this allows you to have a clear understanding of the time frame within which these decisions need to be made. We often see that while it's absolutely crucial not to lie to your co-founders and be fully open and transparent on your timelines and restrictions, that the most successful teams are those who actually agree to cancel all backup options for at least a specific amount of time. They are the ones that give it their absolute all during this time, while also being very transparent on when they have to move forward if the startup does not produce the expected results. Things are going to get hard, and there will always be a time where you want to give up. So if you always have that easy access, nice and comfy backup option, you might be more inclined to take it. If you commit fully to the startup, it increases the chances that you will get really creative in solving any problem that arises and also pull through the hard times. This collective decision to prioritize a startup over any other alternative also really creates trust among the team. And again, it's also important to acknowledge and be honest with your co-founders and yourself on how long you're realistically prepared to keep up that kind of commitment, and also which results you want to see and when. We sometimes see that teams who say they are fully committed, basically forever until it works, and then they give up and split up 6 months later because they were frustrated that it was not going the way they expected it to go. But they also didn't really take the time early enough to clarify to themselves and their co-founders what they did expect to happen. So know yourself and really be transparent with your co-founders, and you will have the best chances of maximizing your chances of success together. It's also important to discuss potential distractions and limitations. Imagine one person has a very competitive passion, like writing or dancing professionally or becoming the next Ironman or woman, or one person just had a baby or has an elderly family member to take care of. Discuss these things in the very beginning and make sure you know of each other's limitations and you're also okay with respecting their restrictions. Transparency among each other is absolutely key to ensuring that everyone's on the same page and that you can jointly align on the milestones that are needed to move forward with your startup. It also reduces conflicts and puts the discussion more transparently out in the open. Imagine if several people have hidden timelines and other restrictions and limitations that they do not transparently discuss. Imagine the potential for conflict and misunderstanding when you're trying to discuss what's the best timeline for your startup, or also the best involvement of each co-founder and how to align on milestones together. At the same time, we also do want to emphasize that it's essential to recognize the significant time investment and resilience that are required to succeed in building your own startup. The willingness to dedicate time and effort and to maintain this commitment is crucial. The chances are high that some other smart person on the planet has identified that opportunity too, and there's always be competition in any problem you're trying to solve that is right at your heels. And what will really distinguish you from the competition is your execution. Execution is the key to your success, and it needs significant time, energy, also commitment, and also resilience to stay on top of your game for an extended period of time. Lastly, we also see that it's important to discuss what it is really that you're most committed to. We often see that founders are incredibly committed to building a startup and are somewhat aligned on their first idea, but subconsciously, they're committed to different subtopics of the larger vision. Imagine 3 people coming together to build an AI solution to tackle poverty for women. They're all excited about this idea, but you might have one person being extremely excited about this prospect of using AI for good. Another person might be fully invested in supporting women around the globe. And the third person grew up poor and is dedicated to diminish poverty. Sounds like a great match first, right? However, what happens if they find out that through a marketplace solution, no AI, they could create the biggest impact on poverty? Or what if they find out they could make much more money and impact more people if they would implement the AI solution for a different target group? All of a sudden, you will have alienated one of the co-founders, and this might be a breaking point for the team. Understanding what intrinsically drives your co-founders can be an important data point to have while navigating the changes and the pivots, especially during the early stages of finding product market fit. To be successful, you have to follow the market. So understand what drives your co-founders, how flexible they are to pivot if you have to, what's most important to them, and what also drives their motivation. We see in our programs that some co-founders are deeply committed to a specific problem to solve, maybe because they have a personal connection to it. Others might be extremely committed to bringing a specific technology to market, driven by their own expertise or fascination or their belief in the potential of it. Others, again, are extremely flexible regarding the solution and the problem, but they are committed to trying to become as successful as possible in a very specific amount of time, say 5 years, before they decide to go for another career path. And others, again, are extremely committed to the team and their co-founders, and they want to create something successful and meaningful with their specific teammates, no matter what and when. All of these approaches can be valuable and lead to success, but you need to know this about your co-founders. By discussing and aligning on these commitments, you can minimize the risk of misunderstandings and team splits along the way.